Social networking through blogging, instant messaging, and short message services such as Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter enable children to communicate with friends quickly, effectively, and supposedly with confidentiality. What are the inherent dangers associated with social networking, and how can schools address this effectively? All over the world, children aged between 6 to 12 years of age are becoming more educational with the uses and programs on the computer. Many children and their parents aren't aware of the risks when using technology, and by not knowing, children are endangered at a young age. Children have become familiar with the social networks like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Inherent dangers associated with social networking does include bullying, both verbal and cyber, harassment, rape, pedophilia, and suicide. Also a big issue within our community, the breach of confidentiality and identity theft. All these issues associated with the social networking is a very big issue within homes and schools.
What is bullying? In today's society, for children, there are mainly three forms of bullying: verbal, physical, and social network bullying. 15 years ago, bullying referred to physical attacks on a student along with name-calling and torments being thrown across the playground. Although, however, cyberbullying is when a child is harassed, humiliated, or otherwise tormented by another child via the internet, mobile phones, or by other interactive and digital technologies. The word bullying has a whole new meaning in today's 21st century. With children of today being digital natives, their main means of communication are through Facebook, Twitter, SMS, or email. Identities can be hidden, false names given, and rumours can spread even quicker with just the click of a button. There are many popular social networking sites: MySpace, Twitter, Skype, and hundreds more. But the one that holds the number one spot in the social networking hierarchy is the all-time popular Facebook. Facebook holds over 300 million profiles and is getting larger by the minute. Facebook allows you as an individual to share photos, comments, and other personal information with your Facebook friends. But just how safe is Facebook really, and who can you really trust over the internet? In 2011, two students aged 11 and 12 hacked their fellow classmates' Facebook account, posting inappropriate statuses and writing obscene posts to older men. The victim had naively given her old best friends her account password, believing she could trust them, yet she did not realise the harm that would come of it. This mistake allowed the bullies access to all of the victim's personal information, including phone numbers and saved personal messages. The harassment the young victim received from other classmates due to the hackings left her feeling vulnerable, alone, and saddest of all, suicidal. Schools today believe it to be a necessity to teach students the wrongs of cyberbullying and how to prevent it. Many schools engage students in the creation of a policy for acceptable use of the school's information technology resources. This policy, called the AUP, should spell out what constitutes cyberbullying specifically, prohibit the use of the internet for bullying, including strategies for preventing and stopping cyberbullying, and specify the negative consequences for policy violations. What can harassment lead to and become in a workplace, school grounds, through social networking, and out and about in our day-to-day society? Harassment can lead to sexual harassment, which mainly occurs in women, girls, and young children. This is an unwelcome sexual advance made by an employer or superior, especially when compliance is made a condition of continued employment or advancement. Harassment can lead to pedophilia, which is a condition from the pedophile fulfilling sexual attraction to children. Harassment can lead to rape, the unlawful compelling of a person through physical force or duress to have sexual intercourse. And harassment can also lead to suicide, the intentional taking of one's life. In this world, these are just some of the things we are setting up for our children. Is this what we want for our children, wives, mothers, co-workers to be fearful of every day?
We find in today's society that this occurs a lot in social networking, which unfortunately with today's technology we have every day, every minute, everywhere we go. We see this happening with older women and men faking ages and flirting with teenagers and children. We see this happen with children against children, teenagers against teenagers, and adults against adults. Media reports on incidents of abuse on the internet, particularly amongst teenagers, are growing at an alarming rate, causing much concern amongst parents of teenagers and legislations aimed at regulating internet use amongst teenagers. Past studies have found that 1 in 5 youth were exposed to sexual solicitation. 1 in 17 were harassed or threatened, and only a fraction reported these cases, while more than 63% reported being upset, embarrassed, or stressed as a result of these unwanted contacts. How to prevent this from happening? Objecting to harassment when you see or experience it. Accepting that no means no. Persistent, unwelcome advances can constitute harassment. Becoming aware that your behaviour, if unwelcome, can harass others, even if this is not what you intended. Refusing to go along with harassment marked as humour or academic debate. Clarifying your understanding of differences amongst harassment, freedom of speech, academic freedom, and performance management. Educating yourself on the issues before approaching it.
Children, when being educated in primary school, need to be aware of the dangers within social networking. Many children are not aware that while on Facebook or whatever social network they choose to use, the dangers of them sharing images, contact information, and other confidential things. By a young child sharing certain information about their lives, it increases the risk of the child being exposed to things they shouldn't be seeing. Most schools don't usually introduce in their classrooms how the children, while using the internet, can protect their information from people they don't know. If schools were able to address to the students ways to protect their identity, for example, setting their Facebook to private and hiding all their photos, then children would be able to control their privacy security, not only at school, but apply it to their out-of-school lives. Yes, schools should be addressing the dangers associated with social networking and educating the children, but shouldn't their parents be doing the same thing? Parents need to be making sure that they're aware of the sites their children are visiting and are communicating well with their children in case of any problems. Identity theft has become a big issue within our country, mainly with the big social network Facebook. Schools can't really do much when it comes to some other person stealing a child's identity, yet even though it's a big issue, schools are at least trying to make students aware at a young age that they can try to avoid these situations. From experience, we know how easy it is to steal someone's identity. A year ago, my identity photos were taken off Facebook and used for someone else's Facebook profile. Yes, it was reported to Facebook, and the girl's Facebook got deleted, but yet I could have prevented this by making my photos private. Children, while in school, should be educated on how to be safe while using social networks. It'll be better for our generations in the long run. This link that you can see on the screen is in case you would like to see the policies the schools have with bullying and social networks. If you would like to visit this website, after the presentation, we'll be gladly to write it down and give it to you. Question number 6, relating to the principles of learning and teaching, relates to our topic essay because while being able to connect and communicate with the students can practice safe computer security within a classroom and with help from a teacher.
Overall, inherent dangers associated with social networking can help schools teach children to be more aware of the dangers of using social networks. Cyberbullying, harassment, and identity theft have become a big issue over the years, and in particular in today's society with how accessible it is with technology. Social networks like Facebook, Twitter, and so on have become a huge part of children's and teenagers' lives and are not aware of how they can prevent themselves from being the victim. By schools educating young students on how to be safer when using the internet, not only helps them be aware of the dangers, but they can take what they have learned and apply it to their daily lives.
This is just our reference page so you guys can visually see what we researched and where we got our photos from. We hope you liked our audio essay and we thank you guys for listening.